The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach. The Island Times News Update begins right now. Here's Tom Patton.
Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Atlantic Beach Commission took a first vote Monday night to establish a moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries and treatment centers in the city. The city is the last of the three beach communities to discuss such a moratorium, though only Jacksonville Beach has put their legislation in place. In Atlantic Beach, the moratorium would be in effect for 1 year from November 28th, the first time they discussed the issue. The commission was unanimous in their support for a moratorium. Commissioner Blythe Waters said she had heard from constituents who had told her that they were pleased the commission had chosen only to impose its moratorium for a year.
I heard if we can do this reasonably and more quickly than a year, we should. Most of the patients who reached out to me were either cancer survivors, many of whom had used medical marijuana before it was legal and really wanted to emphasize what a benefit it was to them and that they wanted it to be available for current cancer patients, the other group being current cancer patients.
Mayor Mitch Reeves said that the commission was not taking a stand against what 73% of the voters in Florida voted for November 8th.
The legislature comes back into town in January. There's still a lot of things to go through this in a process. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some different things. So we're not saying that you can't do it. We're just saying let's see what happens in a year and see how it shakes out. You know, I don't know why the legislature didn't, personally, I don't know why the legislature didn't say, hey, it's a drug, so it should come in like a drugstore, and you go get it out of a drugstore like you do every other scheduled drug. I don't know it. But they've regulated how many can sell it. They've got a lot to go through. So I think all this is about is not that we're against selling it to people that need it or have the right to buy it or has the prescription to buy it. But there's too many issues. There are too many issues about Denver, Colorado, and us. It's not recreational. It's totally different, and maybe it will change later and be recreational. I don't know. Maybe it's the first step. There's always you got to crawl before you walk. So I don't want the commission. So I think the year is fair.
The vote for the moratorium was unanimous, with Commissioner Mitch Harding absent from the meeting. They'll take the second vote on January 9th. The Atlantic Beach Commission deferred its first vote on allowing residents to keep backyard hens until its first meeting in January. The proposal was for a pilot program that would have made 50 permits available to residents to keep up to 5 hens in a coop in their backyards. But several commissioners had concerns about the process. Commissioner John Stinson questioned why chicken coops were not required to be built to hurricane standards when other outbuildings, such as tool sheds, must meet the hurricane code.
You know, I'm going to go down and I need a tool shed for my riding lawnmower, and I'm going to build a chicken coop and put my lawnmower in a chicken coop because it doesn't have to have the $500 engineering. I think that, to me, is one of the biggest issues is we're building these sheds. They're going to be, if they're not designed to withstand hurricane wind loads, and we're not talking like, you know, a doghouse that's a couple of feet tall. These things are big. And so I think we need to relook at that. If we're going to do this, then these chicken coops need to meet the hurricane wind loads like everything else does.
Mayor Mitch Reeves said his biggest concern is that the ordinance does not have any enforcement mechanism for people who do not comply with the stipulations of the ordinance. Commissioner Jimmy Hill, who supports the idea, said he hoped the commission would pass it to bring, in his words, our society back to where it should be.
It makes me sick that we can't fish off our piers at night. It makes me sick that we don't have the liberty to do the things that free men would do. And keeping a chicken in your yard, if you have the space to do it, is one of those things that kind of hits right in my wheelhouse of what's wrong with this country. So I'm not going to get super patriotic, but that's what's driving it for me. I'm not getting a chicken coop. I don't have the time to keep chickens. I'm not going to take the course. But I have citizens that I represent that do want to do it, and I'd like to do that. I'd like to give them a chance to do it.
With Commissioner Mitch Harding absent, Commissioner John Stinson moved to defer the first vote until Harding could be present, since many of those who might want to keep chickens live in the district he represents. The ordinance will be back on the agenda for an initial vote January 9th. The Jacksonville City Council Tuesday night voted to allocate $500,000 for repairs and restoration at Huguenot Park in the north part of the county. The park, which also serves as a bird sanctuary, was severely damaged by Hurricane Matthew, which washed away dunes, roads, and structures at the park. The park has been closed to the public since the storm. The city is hopeful that the federal government will offer to pay for the balance of the repairs. City officials say they're hopeful the park, which is popular with swimmers, fishermen, surfers, and kiteboarders, will reopen in the spring, but cautions that the repairs may not be completed when the park reopens. Well, the holiday season has arrived on the island, and the city governments have wrapped up their work for the year. The Neptune Beach Council will be first back to work on Tuesday, January 3rd. Atlantic Beach will resume work on Monday, January 9th, and Jacksonville Beach will reconvene on Monday, January 16th. And when we come back, some of the holiday events around the beach. This is the Island Times News Update.
The news you can count on. The Island Times News Update will be right back.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Neptune Beach residents had new trash and recycling totes delivered to their homes last week. There had been some confusion about the pickup schedule for trash, and residents were notified that there would be no change in the trash and recycling schedule. Former Mayor Harriet Pruitt posted on Facebook that she had been informed that anyone who's not happy with the large 64-gallon totes can call City Hall and request a smaller 32-gallon tote when they're delivered to the city. A Celtic Christmas returns to the historic Beaches Museum Chapel on Monday, December 19th. Celtic Christmas features Ed Miller with Jill Chambliss and Scooter Muse. Miller is a native of Edinburgh, Scotland, and the trio will bring a delightful, family-friendly evening of Celtic songs, tunes, and tales. Tickets are $20 in advance and $25 on the day of the show. Santa will be making his annual trip through Neptune Beach on Saturday, December 17th. Jolly old St. Nick will be escorted by the Neptune Beach Police Department as he tours several of the city's neighborhoods through the day. Watch for the lights and listen for the sirens announcing Santa's arrival in your neighborhood. Deck the Chairs is continuing in downtown Jacksonville Beach with a new enhanced tree, which is the focus of a spectacular light show on weekends. More than 40 lifeguard chairs have been decorated for this year's event, and the chairs will stay lit through New Year's Day. And looking ahead into 2017, applications are now being accepted for mediums of visual art, mixed media, and jewelry for the 2017 edition of Art in the Park in Atlantic Beach. The show is a juried event in its 14th year and will be held in Johansson Park on Saturday, April 22nd from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Registration is open through the 1st of January. 76 artists will be selected and will be notified in February of next year. Contact Atlantic Beach City Hall for more information.
The news you can count on. Mayport to Ponte Vedra Beach, forecasting your beaches. This is your local look weather.
The National Weather Service says we can expect a cool day Friday, but then warmer weather over the weekend before temperatures fall again midweek. Highs Friday will be in the mid-60s, warming to the mid-70s over the weekend, and then falling back into the mid-60s by Monday and continuing in the 60s through most of the week. Lows will be in the mid-50s to the mid-60s. The Island Times is always digital, always free at theislandtimes.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to be the first to know about stories posted on the Island Times. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.